In question 27, we're told a survey of primary school children showed that between 55 and 65% had a laptop, between 70 and 80% had a mobile phone, and fewer than 5% own neither of these items. We're asked what percentage of children own both a laptop and a mobile. So we have to what we're trying to work out is the degree of overlap between these two groups. We don't have to bear this much into mind because less than 5% could be as much as 0, could be as little as 0, could be as much as 5%. So, bearing that in mind, the best way to represent overlap is with a number line, because these things don't come too intuitively to us. So, starting from the left-hand side, let's start with laptop computers. So, with laptop computers, we can say 55%, this length here, we can mark it out. 55% happen to have laptop computers, whereas 45% do not. We can do the same on the top of the number line when it comes to mobile phones. So starting from this side, because obviously we want to minimize the amount of overlap, because we're trying to work out the lower bound, that's why we're using the lower values each time, we can say 70% happen to have mobile phones, whereas 30% go without. So we can mark out the withouts as well. So we're trying to work out the overlap, which naturally is this region here. So let's just mark it out just for clarity's sake. So we can see we have 30% on the left of the divide on this side and 45 on the divide on this side. Given that this all has to add up to 100, we can say that the minimum overlap is 25 when it comes to the lower bounds. There is the consideration of those who have neither a laptop or a mobile phone. Now, we didn't include this 5% neither value here, or less than 5% neither value. That's because the greater this neither value is, the greater the degree of overlap. Because, say, if 5% started on this side, we would have shifted this 70% further along, therefore increasing the amount of overlap. So now that we have our lower bound of 25, let's draw another number line to work out our upper bound. So the same 100 pupils, this time I will include our 5% neither value maxed out at 5%, because that will serve to increase the potential overlap. So here's our 5%. Beyond this, people don't have either. So we'll do the same thing again, this time using the upper values of the range. So we have 80% this time. So we'll say 80 that do have a mobile phone, whereas 20 go without, except not 20 this time, 15, because the whole thing adds up to 95, given that we also have this 5% value here. I'll mark out the 5% value for clarity. So we have 15 without a mobile phone. So we also have this laptop value to reckon with. So let's start from the other extreme, work our way across, and we'll see we have 65%. Excuse me, I should go a bit further. 65% that do have a laptop, and that leaves this value here, which will be 30% that don't. Bear in mind we also have this 5% who don't have either. So we can see we have a much larger overlap than above. We can see out exactly what it is. So we have 15%, 30%, and the 5% who have neither. That gives us 50, so that means the other 50 must be within the overlap. So we'll say our overlap is 50%. So that is our upper bound of 50%. So now that we have that, we can see our answer is between 25 and 50, and we can say our answer is C.